Six people on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the John Roselli showroom, where we're broadcasting live from New York, California, and Jeffrey Bilhuber, who's also in New York. Here at the Roselli showroom, we're exercising extreme caution by wearing masks, sanitizing, and maintaining social distance. As I'm in a secluded area, I'm going to remove my mask. So today we have with us the esteemed designer on the AD 100 list, as well as recently named to the 2020 Elle Decor A list. Designer extraordinaire, Jeffrey Bilhuber. He's here today to talk about his new collection in collaboration with Le Gracieux. Jeffrey, how are you today?
Honestly, I could not be any happier, not only to join you, but to join you under these circumstances. This collection is astonishing, and I really want to talk about it, and I really want to share what the process has been like with all the followers who are joining us now. And Lisa and Doug, really, let's bring them on board, because this is all about a great big collaboration. I'd like to say hello and welcome them too.
And we're also joined by Lisa Salloux and Doug Funkhouser of Le Gracieux. Welcome, Lisa and Doug. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you. Now, nice to see everybody. Let's get started. I'm going to pass it off to you, and you can take it away. Thank you.
I'm going to jump right in. No, I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to give the head of the line, Lisa and Doug. I think what a lot of people want to find out is, how do collaborations start? How do you build a relationship with creators and with craftspeople? So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Lisa, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. We knew that we wanted to work with a designer in New York specifically to collaborate on another wonderful collection. And one of the things that really came to me was this beautiful karachi, which we have in the background. This is a very specific type of process where we print multicolors and then we over dye with a hand dyed process with sea sponges. There's 3 to 4 people on it, and the table just comes out lovely. And Jeffrey, you have been utilizing this fabric for quite some time in your projects, and you've published it in a few of your books, and you're the top of our list. You're the top of our list, and it was a short list too.
Well, that's great, and as Philip is saying, that is the AD 100 list too, and there's also the Elle Decor A list, which just came out yesterday, and I'm honored to be on both of those. I received congratulations this morning from Anna Wintour, over at Vogue, which was wonderful and heartfelt, and so generous to congratulate me, and sure many other designers. But there's a list of designers that obviously manufacturers and creators want to work with, and there's a list that manufacturers want to work with designers, and it's a two-way conversation. It's a two-way street, and with our history, when you look at what's behind you and realize that I embraced that process and embraced that paleting years ago, published it, which a lot of our work is public, and began to find out a little bit more about you. And I think you began to find out a little bit more about me, and we started to track each other.
Yeah. I was so happy that in a meeting with Jonathan Gargiulo, September, 2018, right, that when your name came up, he just took it and he facilitated it, and I was really appreciative of that. And Shelley Salloux and Patricia, everybody was way behind it. They're really happy to pull us all together. And it wasn't long after we had our first meeting. So and that was in the I think it was the winter.
Yeah,
it was January of 2019. It was 2 degrees. It was freezing. but we got a lot of work done.
Spoken like a man who's got a couple of really good lemons in his life. We'll get into the citrus scenario later, but I have to say that when I got that call, about 12 years ago, I had a call from the publisher, Rizzoli, asking if he could publish my first book. And I said, actually, I don't have a first book. And he said, no, we know that, but we know you've got one in you. The call I received from you in January was exactly the same kind of call. I said, I don't have a fabric collection. And it was immediate that they understood and said, yes, but we know you've got one in you. And I think we're all looking for those kind of productive, the supportive working relationships. And Doug, you just, you nailed it, and Lisa, the collaboration is what's exceptional. The net end results exceed all of our expectations, but where do you start? You start with a group of creators and a group of designers and craftspeople that want to work together, that want to build a more beautiful world, that want to look forward and create their own history. And that's exactly what we found in each other.
Yes,
Absolutely.
with complete respect as well to what was being brought to the table.
So Jeffrey, you submitted, I remember our first meeting, you had everything laid out so perfect. You gave us all a little syllabus and it had both of our names on it. And you had all your preliminary ideas up on the board. And that inspired me to look into a reference book that I had seen. And I believe I shared that with you on our next meeting, or perhaps I brought it to that meeting. I'm a little foggy on that, but you just took off from there. And you put this collection together so effortlessly and precisely and beautifully. It was a joy to work with you. You have such confidence and you knew exactly what you wanted to say. And you said it with such brilliance.
Thank you. It wasn't effortless. I can assure you. What's important, and I want everyone to understand it, is that we had to invent a new language. And Lisa and I were discussing this. When I called Elsa Peretti, the esteemed jewelry designer for Tiffany, to wish her a happy birthday a few months back. She turned 80, and I said, what should we do now? Here you are at 80 and a sage of creativity. Should we have to invent a new society? And I was chatting with Roselli reps in the showroom, and I said, I couldn't get another gardenia green colorway or another tobacco leaf brown. We wanted to invent a whole new color palette and a whole new spectrum. And I think when we look at the colors, which are really exceptional here, and especially, when I look at color, we have hummingbird as a color, we have artichoke hearts, falcon brown, breeze. These are all new colors, and new patterns, which are worthy of obsession, because they build beauty, they build atmosphere, they build emotional content, and a very strong narrative. Lisa, you can speak to the strong narrative.
Yeah, I can speak to the strong narrative. Well, okay, so we're doing the photo shoots. So there's a few things to say. One is the photo shoots where we're dropping the fabric and everything's dancing. It was as if they're all talking to each other. One photo shoot landed with a cuddle puddle, and I was thinking it's so human, what was going on with the shapes and the forms and the colors, and they were all talking to each other. So you talk about a language, Jeffrey, a new language, and what Elsa was saying, it's like you're able to see new things because of it, I think. And there was a big confidence and hope, a bit of that, and I just think working with these colors has made everybody happy, and especially with those color names. How do you get breeze and artichoke hearts and Ivy League? And Ivy League's been turning out to be everybody's favorite out of nowhere.
Oh, how wonderful! I need to hear these things. I want to know what's being ordered and what's being requested. Tell me. I think there's been a bit, we have launched well. You've seen a surge of requests, is that right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Sure.
already specific to projects and everything, specific colorways. And it's a range too. It's not as if it's the same thing. So it's a range. And I think what we've achieved here is a range between the geometrics, which aren't too sharp. They're soft. The geometrics are even pliable. We're doing the large florals along with the grids, and to me they're cityscapes and city plans as well as gardens, but not typical gardens. So
no, not at all. But it's a very, very large collection, right? And everyone really needs to know that there are 8 patterns here in 5 what we call fashion-forward colors. So, what's the total count there? This is a big launch.
There's 43 SKUs, people. Yay! So
be aware.
Be aware, yeah. I mean, there's so
mm-hmm.
much to choose from, yeah.
There is, and I think actually you're trying to get these memoing kits and samples out to people. So I think it's also important to make sure that if you are requesting samples, that you try and be as specific as possible, because you want to honor those requests. So if clients are fond of particular colorways, or they like geometric over floral, they're all in there. And I think it would help Lisa and Doug and Philip at John Maselli, to try and zero in on what you need now. But
you can see, Jeffrey, you can see the entire line on our website.
Exactly.
gracieux.com. And the thing that's remarkable about your line is they're all so different, but they all work really well together. And as you say, the colors and the patterns are interchangeable. And this is very evidenced in the photo shoot that we did at your studio. And we have images on our Instagram as well as you do. And Zelly does. All the O. Henry House furniture that's upholstered just works so well together. It's a brilliant collection.
No, it was really brilliant. And Doug, I think this is a really important fact. That not only can you see it, but you can get it, right? I mean, remind everyone, the process here, all of these fabrics are made stateside. Everything is produced in this country, and it means that they are basically in stock. They're in stock.
They're in stock. We're ready.
You're ready to order.
Great.
Yes, we're in a new building, and we've got beautiful long tables, and we're just producing, and there is stock now, but we're continuing to produce, which you'll see a little later. And yeah, it's been a great process actually during this whole time to be able to continue to produce things for everyone. And so yes, it is in stock.
We are very thankful. Mm-hmm.
But,
I might take a moment now to excuse myself. I'm going to go set up in our memo department so I can show everybody all the memo requests and how we're filling them. And then we're going to take a little walk down the stairs into our production area. They're producing this particular fabric on our tables right now. So I'm going to say goodbye for about a minute or two, and I'll be back as soon as I'm in the memo room.
Take your time. Lisa and I have plenty to catch up on.
I'm sure you do. All right.
Lisa, would you join the party, please?
I'm joining the party.
And I think Philip is still with us as well.
Here.
Let's see if I can challenge everyone to rattle up the names of our collection, because that's a really good one. Ready? Lisa, you're up. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I get to start? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Baldwin, Beekman, Bromley, Bancroft, Bishop. Wait, what else do I have? Barrow. Wait, did I?
Very good.
They're all Beekman. Awesome.
Well done.
They're all
well done. Baldwin, Bancroft, Barrow, Beekman, Bennett, Bishop, Bromley, Burton.
You want to be? You don't have to be.
Bennett. Bennett's the one that dances the most. It goes like this. It's great. It's the we all have names that we're calling them while we're working on them, right? So that one, of course, was seaweed, and then we all have colors that we gave them while we were working on them too. And I was talking about this when we were doing these strike offs. We would wait till the crew would go home, and then it would, we'd turn up the flippin' music, and we would have the color kitchen and the tables to ourselves, and we would just strike off a go-go. It was just one big dance strike-off party, and
Great.
it was so energetic and just so inspiring to do all of this. And we just kept coming up with, we called it making beauty every day, right? That's what we say. We're making beauty every day. So those late nights, which we achieved so much for the next presentation to come out to New York and be with Jeffrey in his studio. And, Doug mentioned this before when we were all talking, that, we had about a 95% approval rate with you, Jeffrey. I mean, every time we would come in, and it was so simple too. Things that didn't work were so obviously didn't work, other things that did, but it really flowed in with very little difficulty. And well, you can see what Doug's got going on there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna cut back in here.
He's back. This is fantastic. You lead the way, Doug.
My official
your
mask on.
Oh, you got your mask.
This is our wonderful memo department, and this is Sarah Walter. She's the woman who has made this all possible.
She's the rock star.
Hey, Sarah.
And she is indeed the rock star. These are now the wings getting ready to go to the UK, and these are all the memo requests that are coming in, and we're actively working on
just a
filling
sample.
all.
That's
and
exciting.
you can see it's extensive what's going on here. So this is our memo department.
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
Sarah, thank you for all your effort. You're doing a great job. We love you so much.
It's beautiful and vibrant, and I can't wait for the world to see it.
Oh, me neither. All right.
I think the world is getting a really good glimpse now, and well worth sharing. This is fascinating. I've not been to. This is all of your new sort of workrooms and offices, right?
This is our inventory.
We've got inventory. All the inventory is actually inside. It's not in a warehouse. It's inside, protected. I like that part of it. And so everything is at our fingertips.
And then this is my favorite part here. Excuse me. There we go. This is.
Wow.
Look at that.
This is our production facility.
Well, which is it's incredible. It's incredible, and look at that, the magnitude of the beauty that you are creating. It's incredible. And what are you running now? Tell everyone, what are we looking at?
These are our printing tables. We have right now two 24-yard printing tables for a total of 48 yards. And then table 3 in the distance there is where we do our dyeing, all of our over dyeing. Right. And it enables us to hang them on these racks.
Right. And so this is Burton coming off the line now, correct?
That's correct.
But also, would you turn down the music a little bit?
And let's just talk a little bit about.
These are all the screens that we use to produce the line.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry.
You should cry. I cry every day. And here are the screens that they're printing now, and they're gonna load up with more ink now. It's beautiful, guys. This is Orazio, who's pouring the ink, and he is our head printer. He is in charge of our printing department.
Right. And he's a color master. He's a color master.
And it's very important that we understand this is a hand finishing process. What's so beautiful about Le Gracieux is its burnish, is its dimension, is its depth. That comes through human interaction, not mechanical or machinery. This is human interaction in the finishing, in every stage, but especially in the finishing process, which is what I've always loved about Le Gracieux. And we wanted to keep the integrity, of that beauty as we invented a whole new language and a whole new collection. But we wanted to keep the heart, on the surface, which is what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And these are two of our printers. This is Enrique to the left, and this is, we call him Junior, to our right. And they're so essential to our operation here, and they're so masterful at what they do. And they are, Junior is Horacio's son, and Enrique is his nephew. So they're all from the same family and household, and it's just a joy to be working with them. And they're what they're doing now is closing the pattern. We print every other repeat, and then go back in and fill in between after it dries. So the first pass is open, and then the next one closes the pattern. And the thing we like so much about this space is at the end of the tables we have windows and sunlight and trees outside the windows, and it makes it a delightful place to work. And then I'm going to take you over to table 3, and this is where we do the dye process on table 3. And this is the same pattern, and it's been over dyed. And this is Albert. He is our master dye man. And the thing I like about our tables is they're 6 feet wide, so we're able to maintain safe distancing through this whole episode of coronavirus and stain production. And we're maintaining safe practices and wearing masks and sanitizing services and washing hands and all that. But we're very happy and thankful to be in full production at this time. And then one of the big holdups with our production was the dry time it took for the over dye to dry. It was the bottleneck. So we came up with this beautiful concept of a dry rack, and it can hang up to 48 yards to dry. That's it. And then if we look up,
and this is an order early in production, or is this what you're running up for a memoing sample, or this is something that's actually confirmed and going out the door?
It's confirmed and going out the door.
How great! So orders are rolling in.
Get it while it lasts. Yeah.
Get it while it lasts.
No, and let's talk about that. I mean, I think that collections and collaboration, have a good, 5-year, cycle before you add, any refresh to it. What we wanted to do was create a collection that was immediately timeless, that was classically based, in its production, in its quality, that will evolve and really move all these other collections that you've been producing forward, and value engineer the decision. So I really believe, given the diversity and the variety of this collection, that anything that's ordered today is going to serve the design community and their clients well for 10, 15 years to come. But we will update it and refresh it in sort of 5-year cycles, or as we can gauge where we want to make additions. What do you think, Lisa?
I know we already have a few things that we're still wanting to do, right?
I have ideas, Jeffrey, and I know you do too. This is my color.
We had to stop at 8.
I spend the majority of my time down in all the lights are color correct, and this is my workstation, and you can see we got your stuff up on my board. But we have ideas. We have ideas, and I know you do, Jeffrey, for additions, because I believe wholeheartedly this is going to be so successful. It already is. I'm going to sign off for a minute here and go back to my office.
Bye.
Bye, Philip. I think, Philip, you're still there with us. Everything is on the floor.
You can roll it up now.
You have,
Thanks,
you have wings in.
We do. We have the wings up. We actually have a vignette from O. Henry House Furniture that has your fabric on it. It's stunning, right near your collection. And we have memos that are going out the door daily. Requests are coming in. I've been presenting the collection, and the oohs and ahs and how much people love it is great. It's a joy to present. So I'm having a great time.
And I know that the sales team, as well at Roselli, has been very enthusiastic to embrace this collection, which is a very important part, of the link, between the creator and the craftsman and the clients, is the sales force on the floor. And when I've been in, I've heard nothing but accolades, everyone presenting, and the strong positive response that they're getting from their clients too. Look who's back.
It has been good. The response has been overwhelmingly great. It's very exciting for us here at Roselli. And
I'd like to take also a note to say that in the processing of this particular, in the process, which we call a saturated dye process, we also go through a softening. So the hand is really nice. Yeah. It doesn't have that feeling of a lot of ink all on a piece of linen. And so the hand's very nice. And it actually makes it a little bit weightier as well. So while it's a 5.8 ounce flax linen we use, it's just got a soft weightiness to it. And yeah.
Right. And what honestly, I wanted to hold this up because my instinct from the first time that I ever came across your material is exactly that, where you really want to express it. You feel the dimensionality of it. You feel the humanity of it. You know that there are truly people that have been involved in the screening process and the color paletting. But it's really worth mentioning here that when we talk about the variety and the diversity, I mean, we are getting really small scale, universally loved patterns, which can go anywhere, and then you can technically coordinate with that on a much larger scale. So the built-in opportunities with this collection are significant, and I think that's what happens when you get 8 patterns, rolling off a line at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. They're all interchangeable. They all work together. Last night, Lisa, when we were talking, you were referring to your fashion background and how... Oh. Can you share with us about you and Jeffrey's conversation on that?
We're talking about how we just love putting all sorts of things together because like we were talking about earlier, they talk to each other, the patterns talk to each other. And my background being fashion, we used to create outfits for our displays and things, and for the runway that were just whee, you put all these things together. Right. And when you're feeling brave, you go out with all that stuff on. But also, right, if you were just using one, it's still, the statement is so clear and so fresh that it works both ways. But I appreciate that, especially in the photo shoot, Jeffrey, that in the vignette is just all of those beautiful pieces put together. It's happiness.
We know that it's a very immersive collection, that you have to dive in. I know, and I'm sure everyone in the design industry realizes that there's a new embrace of color and pattern. We're coming off a cycle where things felt hollow. Or they felt as if they were just skimming the surface, that there was no dimension to it. Where design is moving, is moving into a much more three-dimensional world, and a much more embraceable world. That you can embrace color, you can embrace pattern, you want humanity, you want a heart, you want things which have a real narrative to them. And that's where it's a return to great American decorating is what's happening now, and we're at the forefront of it, and we will see how it influences the market for many, many years to come. We are at a significant point of change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well said.
And this collection has its thumb on the pulse for sure.
It definitely does.
At least a thumb, maybe a couple.
The whole hand.
The whole hand. That's great.
The historical vibration of this is very important. The historical threshold into what our next time frame is going to be.
Absolutely like. Absolutely right. And I remember our early conversations. I made it very clear, and you were so receptive. I said, I want to build a collection where the sort of the craftspeople and the designers meet as equals. That's what seems to be the definition of a modern society now. This is the society that will move us all forward. They're craftspeople and designers meeting at the same table as equals.
That's the language. That's the conversation. Yeah.
And we feel so respected, Jeffrey, that you would consider us equals. And I began this kind of company 20 years ago on a table in my backyard under the oak trees, and I have worked hard every single day, and we've built it into what it is. It is such an honor to be able to have our facility and to produce this line and to have absolute control over every aspect of it. And it's an honor to be working with you to put this effort forward.
Oh my gosh, mutual admiration society here. But Doug, I don't know, the last time you introduced a new collection or a new SKU. So I think to put it in context, you could just let everyone know. I mean, this has been a year and a half in the making. I would like to think that it's a significant leap forward for Le Gracieux, for Doug and Lisa and all of the sales force out there. And it's not an everyday event. I mean, you don't introduce new collections or new SKUs on a yearly basis. It's a big deal.
It's huge. It's wonderful.
And I think they launch when they're ready too. I think everybody's trying to work with a time frame that kind of the industry goes by, and I think that's shifted a little bit. And so as we all have been talking, this is an interesting time to launch. So we've had these unusual circumstances, but also opportunities. And so
but this is the time of change. We're in the middle of significant shift in market and in a global understanding of why we matter and what matters most. And we are now, so we couldn't forecast what was going to come our way, but we knew that change was upon us. And to everyone who can jump in on this is going to be right there with us. I want to move forward together as a society, as a people, as craftsmen, and as innovators. It is the right time to launch new collections. It is the best time to believe in ourselves. It is the most appropriate moment in history for us to come together and build a new world.
Wow, that's beautiful. This has been great.
Thank you.
Wow. What do I say after that, Jeffrey? That's beautiful. So,
Word from the creator.
The end point, I'd like to just go around. If anybody would like to close with anything, Jeffrey, that was brilliant. Any additional comments about the creation of this collection?
I would just like to say I really appreciate the storytelling. The storytelling that has gone on between all of us and how this has all come about, being able to share some of those stories with you, Philip, and the whole Roselli crew and everybody else who came out today. But the storytelling that's gone on between Jeffrey and Doug and myself, and how all of that has been our conversation. And we're sharing about ourselves, our histories, our families, all of those things. And those it's warm, it's just really warming, and the heart has been so apparent through this whole thing. So thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Philip. I just wanted to add, I wanted to clarify with everybody that you can see the entire line on our website, and you can order your memos through either our website, or if you're in New York, you can go straight to Roselli and the showroom at Roselli, and we'll make sure that your memo requests do get filled. Take a look at the line, see what works for you, and send us your request. We'll send you samples.
Oh yeah.
Our website is legracieux.com, LEGRACIEUX.com.
Wonderful. And Lisa, Doug, Philip, thank you all for the time we had today. I'm really honored to be a part of this team. I am I am deeply committed, to what we need to do to find beauty wherever we can these days. Beauty awaits. It is here. We are creating it. We are in the middle of it. Embrace it. And thank you, everyone, for allowing me to sort of share my ideas of what beauty can be with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Very eloquently stated. Thank you so much. Thanks for making it all possible.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you for all sharing these stories
Thank
with me. As anybody knows, I love a story behind a textile, so I'm very excited for this. And thank you to all the participants that joined us today. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day. And a reminder that the Roselli showrooms are open. We're here. Come on in, check out all the new stuff that we have. We look forward to seeing you. Again, thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Everybody.
Bye.